5. Wheathen shoves that right over to the Lions half. Looks like this one's going in. Oh, you're kidding me.
Donna S. Donna over behind. We're going to see the barrage. The barrage.
Oh my gosh, Nico is just dominating right now.
What a play.
That's disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
That was disgusting.
Welcome back, everybody, for match number 3 of tonight's 4-match series, Carthage Firebirds' very own Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Team. We saw some amazing matches earlier today. First one, Raymond the GOAT going 3-0 against Brandini 99, proving absolute dominance, struggling there a little bit in that game too. Able to come out of it, and then swapping to Ike off of that cloud pick. I had to completely think about that for a second. Off of that cloud pick onto Ike, really, really smart. Raymond the GOAT, definitely the GOAT, 3-0 in his first game. Game number 2, Dean Machine versus Earthsitter. Unfortunately, Dean Machine not able to get that upper hand. It was pretty close all 3 matches. Unfortunately, just not able to do enough damage. You know, hitting those shots definitely, but Dr. Mario against a wolf was really proving its dominance. And unfortunately, Dean Machine not able to win a single match in that round. But into game number 3, we are seeing JR representing the Firebirds versus Jupiter. Jupiter 85, it looks like. I'm excited to see what JR has in store for us. I am your host, the Bearded Man, and I'm joined by Bunny. How you doing, Bunny?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Good to hear. I'm excited. It's a great night. It's Friday too, which is always great. You know, after a long week of some successful casting, I'm glad I can end it with some Smash. Having a lot of fun. You know, it's definitely been a good course of a couple matches. You know, especially commentating with you. So, you know, I'm excited. Now, we did end this last match, though, with the age-old question that we developed, and I want, for the viewers who are just tuning in and all the viewers in Twitch chat, who would win, who's better at the game of Tetris, Wario or Mario? Or Dr. Mario, I should. No, let's say just Mario, not necessarily Dr. Mario.
Okay, because Dr. Mario would obviously have the upper hand.
Exactly. You know, Dr. Mario having to play his own game, in a sense, hours on end, and also you know, probably just having a doctorate for, you know, I think he'd do a little bit better. I don't know if Wario has any degree of that sort, you know.
Are people with degrees better at video games?
No, not in the slightest. But I think Dr. Mario might, you know, develop, I don't know. He might have a...
I feel like it's not really Wario's thing.
No, I think Wario, I mean, we did see the bike. You know, and I'm pretty sure Wario is on. I mean, he's on all these different sports teams. You know, in Chargers. I think he plays golf a little bit. Just a lot more of a. I wouldn't say Mario's not athletic in the slightest, but it definitely looks like Wario having a lot more of an athletic, having a lot more experience in the athletic field.
What are you trying to say about Wario right now?
I'm saying that he scares me. I think he is an undetermined amount of pounds. So I'm excited, but ultimately Dean Machine playing that Wario in that last round just was able to be a good switch against Dr. Mario. Switching off a Wolf, playing Wolf in those first 2 rounds. Switching to Wario, I think, was a good choice against Dr. Mario, but it wasn't enough. You know, I think definitely a little bit more of a melee, you know, close quarters oriented character, just not enough of a grasp. So, you know, I wish there was a Tetris character in this game. I know that there's an assist trophy, but we don't get to see that at all. But Tetris, honestly, I have a Game Boy Color, and I have an original Game Boy Color Tetris game. Now I don't have it. It's not the Russian version, but it does have the Kremlin on it. Which, fun fact, in case you didn't know, Tetris was invented secretly in the Soviet Union.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, I believe. Don't quote me on this, because I saw a documentary on like the 80s in general. But they like had to smuggle it out to get it dispersed into the rest of the world. And I enjoy it. The music's pretty good. The music's really good, you know? What is the best Nintendo soundtrack?
You're going to have to give me a minute to think on that one.
I got it. I already have an answer.
What is the
answer? Because I did
answer?
say the answer earlier. The Super Mario Galaxy soundtrack. I listen to it when I do homework. It is very soothing.
It is beautiful.
It's very magical.
That's
Makes
a good
me feel
one.
like, you know, a kid again. Makes me feel happy and not stressed at all.
Yeah.
But definitely I do that, and then also sometimes I'll do the Mario Kart soundtrack because it's very upbeat, quick and fast. We do have another Super Mario Galaxy soundtrack fan, and honestly, like there's no reason it is that amazing.
It is. It is such a great game.
Yeah, I would like to. I want to know who the composer is, and I'd like to meet them.
Yeah.
Because I think they did a really good job. They and like the different, galaxies having just very unique sounds and songs, and just like the ambiance it creates is just phenomenal.
I'm going to start listening to that when I do my homework. But you know what I listen to like now?
What?
Animal Crossing. Like the Animal Crossing lo-fi. Like that will just always be solid.
I could never get into Animal Crossing. Not that it's bad. It looks interesting. Just not your
style.
I don't want to put in 1,000 hours, and I know I will. I know the moment I download it or start playing it, I'm just never going to not play it. And that's the story I've heard from everybody who plays it.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it is a good game.
Yeah.
But
it's been one of my favorites since I was a kid.
What other games though? What other Nintendo games? There's so many great Nintendo games out here. I love just Nintendo all overall has made just such
big part of our childhoods.
Very, very true. But yeah.
I have a question for you.
Lay it on me. Full of answers.
Do you listen to the star power-up sound when you do cardio?
Definitely. Makes me run faster.
Dun, 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 dun,
Exactly.
That's
I'm in the gym. I'm running for my life while that's playing, and everyone's just kind of like looking at me like, what's going on?
Like the Rainbow
Why
Road
is he running? Why is he
song?
running really fast? And like he's terrified of something. Honestly, Rainbow Road, I could never get into those maps because I'm kind of bad. But Coconut Mall is my favorite.
Coconut Mall is great. Mushroom Gorge, I will beat anybody on that map.
I hate Mushroom Gorge. I hate it. I'd always fall off the map. But Super Mario Smash Bros. Ultimate, Game 1, JR versus Jupiter. It looks like JR going to be running Inkling, whereas the BVU Beavers running that Zelda. Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, we were talking about Legend of Zelda earlier. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this matchup. I think Inkling is able to do a lot of damage with that projectile. And those ink grenades, I should say. Whereas Zelda, I think, has a lot more of a damaging ability. But right off the bat, oh my gosh, JR just dominating. 14% left and not even down to down a stock, whereas BVU already down to 2. Oh my gosh, dominant fast. I didn't realize Inkling was this strong. Me
neither, to be honest.
Have you ever played Splatoon?
I have not. I have a lot of friends who are pretty crazy about it though.
It looks like a very interesting game. Definitely a game that I don't think I could ever. Oh my gosh, already into the first stock and still at 40. Oh my gosh, I'm not even processing what's happening here. Just amazing dominance. I think honestly, Zelda might not be the move against an Inkling. I don't even know who would be the move at this point. We're just seeing such dominance here. Finally, a few more hits onto Inkling from that Zelda, but it does sound like JR is an Inkling main and the top player for Carthage, and actually a freshman walk-on player for Carthage Esports. So it's going to be a few years of absolute dominance. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful to see. Already done with round 1, and that might have been like 2 or 3 minutes. So this might be a quick, maybe a 3-0. It might not be a 3-0. Who's to say? Honestly, if you are the BVU Beavers, what is going through your mind right now after a match, a round like that?
There's going to need to be a character switch up, some different kind of counter, because Inkling just has a lot of good abilities, like the roller that puts Zelda into the ground, gets him stuck there. It's just like a lot of things that are hard to counter sometimes, so the Beavers are going to have to find a way to do that.
Honestly, I think like a Bowser pick might be good. I think
like
Bowser
Bowser
being
pick.
able, or maybe even a Donkey Kong. I think Donkey Kong might be able to cause enough chaos.
Yeah,
cause
something a little bit more powerful.
Exactly. Definitely, because I know Donkey Kong can also smash somebody into, literally get it smashed.
I hate that attack.
Knock somebody
It's
into the
frustrating.
ground as well, having the same effect as that roller. So then I think you're able to do a lot of damage if you get that off.
Yeah.
Or maybe a Jigglypuff. Now, Jigglypuff I love because if you can put the other person to sleep and you get that down B properly, they're knocked out of the arena. You're causing a ton of damage, a lot of chaos, and you're having a great time. You're singing a sweet lullaby. You know,
Jigglypuff is so cute.
Exactly. But then, you know, she knocks you out of the park and causes a lot of issues for you. She gives you, you know, broken bones, and suddenly you're out of play for a while. You know, you're not able to go to Dr. Mario, and he's gonna be, you know, playing Tetris apparently. Love it. Love the callbacks. But Kingdom Hearts though, just saw that on our screen while they're selecting their soundtrack. Have you ever played Kingdom Hearts?
I have not. That was also something that was kind of more towards the earlier part of my childhood. So
I recently almost got into it. I had to talk to somebody because I'm very confused on all the storylines, because there's like Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2, I think, you know, and I'm like, all right, is this literally like a kind of a spin-off where it's in between the two? Apparently not. It's just a remake, which is great. So
interesting.
I think I'll be getting into that. But round 2, it looks like no change here. JR still on that Inkling, and the BVU Beavers still on that Zelda, and then JR just laying down a ton of ink immediately onto Zelda. And I believe, actually, I remember hearing something, and I believe if you have that that paint on you from the Inkling, you're taking a lot more damage. And we just saw, not even still at 0%, immediately getting the first stock off onto the BVU Beavers. Just absolute dominance here from JR. Amazing to see. Now, there's a lot more damage being done, I think, onto JR. But will it be enough? What do you think is the counter to how JR is playing right now if you are playing Zelda?
I mean, we're not really seeing a lot of shield action. JR is just able to get those combos in very quickly, with the Beavers not really being able to do much. And I'm not sure if that's up to like the character pick of Zelda, but something might need to be changed.
I mean, you said it right. I think we're not seeing enough timing of those shields. You know, that might be the issue. You know, our screen froze up there for a second, but then I just heard game.
It appears as though JR's won the match.
You know, it sounds like a fun time. JR winning round 2, once again, seemingly without any sort of issues. The BVU Beavers really, I think, needing to switch this up. Jupiter, maybe Zelda's not the pick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know if that's...
It's hard to not stick with your main sometimes, but in these situations, you have to get... You got to get those counterplays.
Yeah, well, in the other competitions I've seen of professional Smash, I've seen Zelda be a very dominant force. So I don't know. I don't necessarily know if it's the move against lineup, but Zelda isn't necessarily bad, you know. Right. Against Inkling, hard to say. I think Inkling being able to do... You know, especially that paint roller move and being able to just unleash a lot of damage in a very quick succession. Yeah. You know, that is, I think, definitely a win condition there for JR. So I can see that the BVU Beavers are it definitely looks like they're going to be switching somebody up. Probably really having to sit there and think, what can I do? What is a counter to what's happening right now? You know, go to the countertop shop they were talking about during Overwatch or Over Siege, and get a counter. What is a counter to Inkling?
I'm excited to see who they pick.
Yeah. Didn't they just announce a Splatoon 3?
There's a lot of Splatoon games. I can't keep track anymore.
I know there's a Splatoon 2. I feel like there's a Splatoon 3. I don't distinctly remember it. But at this point, honestly,
It's a
we
pretty-
should,
it's a
we
pretty
should get a
popular
Splatoon
game.
4. But again,
Wow.
moving into round 3, Jupiter not switching it up, still sticking on to that Zelda. Curious what the play is. We're seeing immediately running away, but JR is just going to meet that Zelda on the other side of the platform and just unleash a ton of ink into the princess.
The princess.
Is Zelda a princess? She's a princess.
Yes.
I thought she was a queen for a second, but
I believe she's a princess.
okay. Then where's the queen? Is there a king and queen? There's just the princess?
It's just called The Legend
The
of
Legend of
Zelda.
Zelda. But what is the legend?
What is the legend?
What is
of
the
Zelda?
legend?
I think that's you have to play the games to find out.
You're
Jordan.
right. It's a spoiler. Spoiler alert. It's the Legend 27, actually, from that one commercial. But
And
JR
Jupiter.
immediately knocking BVU Beavers down to even one small stock, trying to fake out almost a fall and then just coming back and just, oh my gosh, what a quick match. BVU Beavers just not able to get that upper hand. I can guarantee you though, if I were playing against them, I would be losing constantly.
Those are some
There was
fast
some-
combos, like situations that are really hard to get out of once
Exactly.
you're stuck getting those hits on. So.
No, I could never play competitive Smash. I'm just not. I'm pretty good at FPSs. I'm pretty good at other games, not Smash.
Yeah,
I
like-
just can't. Watching some of these guys play, just watching professionals play in
Yeah.
general, I'm just like, how can you move your fingers that
Yes.
fast? I can move them pretty fast, but
Yes.
like that is impressive.
Like
you know,
when it comes to Nintendo, I'm used to slower paced
Exactly.
games. But this,
Mario Galaxy, I'll fall asleep to the music.
Yes.
This one. You're going to spray a bunch of ink, make sure that you're going to use a massive paint roller, push them into the ground while they're stuck there, and then you're going to beat them over the head with a giant
Yes.
paintbrush. That's how it works.
this is
That's-
why I love to play Ridley, which is why a lot of people just hate the pick because it's just it just destroy like you
You're a
literally
giant dragon.
You're a dragon that will shove the character into the ground and shove them off the stage. Is that not
You have
the best
Ridley,
thing?
who is a massive dragon, and then you have Kirby, who's a pink puffball.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the dichotomy of Smash at
I
this
love
point.
that Smash gives you the option to change the colors and
Yeah.
design of your characters.
I
That's
like
one of my
that too.
favorite things.
I do. But we are going to take a quick short break before the match. One of the, I'd say the match of the night, Firebird versus Firebird, Space Food versus Lunar Synergy. Who will prove dominant? I'm hoping the Carthage Firebirds pull a win off here. But we'll be back very shortly to see the battle of the Firebirds. Welcome back, everybody, for our fourth and final match of the night. Carthage Firebirds in their Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Team. Firebird versus Firebird right now. We are seeing Lunar Synergy versus Space Food. They're warming up. I apologize right now because we do have the live feed, but I'm very excited to see how this is going to go. We did see some really, really good matches earlier. Game 1 of the night, Raymond the GOAT playing against Brandini 99, having a really, really good start. You know, round 2 kind of, you know, losing as great of a margin, but still able to hold his own. And then round 3 definitely coming back. Game 2 with Dean Machine against the Edgewood College Eagles. But as I say that, we did get word that this is the real deal. So round 1, Lunar Synergy versus Space Food once again. Looks like Lunar Synergy is going to be playing that Jigglypuff move, whereas Space Food can be running that NECC. What are your thoughts? I say that. I just want to point out, I was talking about last game, Jigglypuff having that down B, landing it perfectly is like an immediate win.
Wow. Yeah, I love both picks here, both very fun characters to play. It's an interesting matchup, so I'm excited to see who's the better Firebird here.
Yeah, I think NECC is just a classic.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen plenty of people who are just very dominant on NECC. So, you know, against a Jigglypuff, I think this is definitely a good combo to see because you have dominance versus dominance. Now, Jigglypuff is a lot more of a melee character, close quarters, whereas NECC has a lot more of like abilities. You know, still having a really good melee capability, but just less of a close quarters attack. And we're seeing we're seeing that Jigglypuff is kind of paying off in this fight. Ultimately, though, I think that first stock tick, that first smash, I should say, from Jigglypuff was likely due to that down B, which is a honestly, very difficult thing to hit. You know, it's not the most immediate thing. Unfortunately, though, just falling off, flying up, flying downwards.
Some off-stage play there.
A lot of off-stage play there. Not quite sure what was happening. Couldn't really tell. But ultimately, it looks like, I believe it was Lunar Synergy getting that shot. I'm not quite sure. I couldn't tell. It was too quick for me to realize. I believe it was Space Food, actually, that got that first place. Ultimately, though, really, really good match there. Really good. You know, Jigglypuff definitely coming in strong. A little bit dominant, but was very close. You know, you could have had that one stock, you know, could have gone away really quickly. And sometimes you don't want to risk it. You know, there was that potential of trying to jump off the stage, forcing one of those aerial battles, and then not being able to make it back to the stage and kind of causing some issues for yourself. But going into round 2, what do you think?
I'm excited to see if they pick something different. I loved their reaction to them both falling off the stage at the end, having that little battle. It's going to be fun as we keep going, so I'm excited to see who takes the win here. Yeah,
based on the face cams we have, it definitely shows that they're in good spirits. You know, despite this being an actual like full-on competition, they're still in good spirits because they know win or lose, Firebirds get a dub overall. A good old dub. But for those on the screen, we do have Lunar Synergy on the left. And, well, Lunar Synergy is blue, but on the left side of the screen. And Space Food is on the right and is playing on the red team. Right off the bat, though, looks like Space Food's running Samus, whereas Lunar Synergy runs... I look like Luana. I forget the name of this fighter, unfortunately. But, you know, melee against kind of a ranged. This is interesting. It kind of reminds me of that first battle or that third battle we saw. Well, first battle overall, Raymond the GOAT versus Brandini. Brandini playing Samus and Dark Samus, whereas Raymond the GOAT playing Cloud and then switching to Ike. So it reminds me a lot of that. You know, will we see that same sort of dominance of that melee over Samus?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Definitely a similar matchup. I'm thinking that Samus has some of that range that's going to come in handy here, but honestly, it's hard to even say whether the melee or the range is even better because it just depends on how they're used.
Exactly, and we're seeing that both of these players it's a pretty even match. We're seeing overall just an even battle here. Nobody's proving to be like far more dominant in a sense. Maybe, you know, right now we see that Dubski's or Lunar Synergy on the screen having a tad bit more damage taken, but then immediately is going to flip and it's going to be back even, you know? So I don't know what to expect. We're seeing just back and forth, you know, one player maybe getting a bunch of hits in, and then the next player is going to get a bunch of hits in.
Yep.
It's very much a back and forth. But honestly, I think Samus has a really cool skin right now. So
yeah, you're rooting for Samus.
I rooted for it. I'm rooting for them. Finally, we do have one stock down in the battle. Samus is still at a very, very large percentage, though, and you know, once again, one hit away from it causing a lot of issues. I was about to say, will we get past 200%? Not quite. But we're back to an even ground here. Looks like Space Food getting a decent amount of damage in on Lunar Synergy. Once again, I mean, we're seeing. Okay, I'll note this. Samus is just a lot of times getting knocked off the side of the stage, but is able to fly back, you know, using those really good grapples to grapple back onto the stage and such. But will it be enough? You got to be very careful. High risk, high reward. But I don't even think that the reward is that high. You know, playing that edge play is risky. Yeah,
lots of edge guarding going on, and playing off the platform definitely is very risky, as we saw them both going down last time. But they're both playing really smart here.
Yeah, the shield play as well. That is something that is really, really important and really good to see. But ultimately, it looks like Space Food is at a notable advantage right now. You know, having that lead in stock and the lead in the series. What do you think's going through Lunar Synergy's mind right now?
That's a good question.
It is a good question. You never know. I mean, it's something that, you know, you could see maybe it's just kind of more of a casual, like, not taking it to heart, or maybe, oh, what am I doing wrong? You know, stressing about that. But Lunar Synergy, we have seen some very impressive plays on the Overwatch team. So, you know, we've seen Lunar Synergy definitely come back from, you know, having a round or so where just not performing to the best of their ability, and then coming back, just proving dominance. So we might go into a round 5. We might see, you know, this kind of the tables turn a little bit. But Space Food is, once again, a very, very high percentage. One really good critical hit away from getting knocked out of the arena. As I say that, though, able to get a critical hit onto Lunar Synergy. Will Lunar Synergy be able to get out of here? Hard to say. I'm waiting. One of these days, I'm going to say it, and it's going to be timed perfectly.
It will
but
be.
It's not going. Not tonight, apparently. But that shield play, you know, that is really important. And it just, we saw right there, saving Space Food from probably a really good hit. Yeah. And there we go. Lunar Synergy evening the odds just a little bit. And Space Food is one hit away, or one knock away and such, from getting eliminated. And the round going to Lunar Synergy. Knock and a lot of damage.
Yep, I really think the music right now is adding to this amazing battle.
It makes it a lot more epic, especially on this stage. Honestly, this might be my favorite map.
Really?
And I could hear the shouting from behind us, and it looks like Lunar Synergy, despite being at such a kind of a lower end, you know, a large margin, lower end of that margin, just a lot, not winning. I can't think of the term for some reason. At a disadvantage throughout the whole match, but then finally getting that movement, getting those few hits, and ultimately it paying off. Going into round 3, Lunar Synergy having 2-0 against Space Food. What do you think Space Food is going to have to do?
It was definitely close in a lot of ways. Definitely some risky plays that probably could have been changed, that could have led to some things going wrong for him. But overall, it was a good matchup. 2 Firebirds.
2 Firebirds, yeah. Well, and once again, you can see on the face cams that we have set up. Once again, both players still in very good spirits. So, I wouldn't say it's a very casual play. You know, there's some cheering going on. There's some I want to win. but ultimately these two players have a lot of respect for each other, have practiced together time and time again. So exciting to see. But it is going to be Samus versus Byleth. Not much of a change here. It's going to be the same kind of concept here. Lunar Synergy playing that Byleth and Space Food jumping off the side of the building. But because Lunar Synergy is going to have the respect, is also going to jump off and even those odds, making it a 2-stock to 2-stock. Ah, that was beautiful to see.
Love to see that mutual respect.
It does. Yeah, it's always heartbreaking to see when that it looked like Space Food tried to do something funny and it kind of caused some issues for him. But exciting to see how this goes in the future. Now, Lunar Synergy is able to do a lot. You know, we're seeing a lot of damage being done. A lot of hits, really good hits onto Space Food. But so is Space Food able to get some hits on him as well. So definitely, once again, a back and forth round. But you gotta, when you are jumping off, we're seeing Space Food be off the platform quite often. And it's, some of them I don't think are intentional. Some of them might be intentional. You got to be very careful because you do not want it to cause issues. And that might have been the reason why that first one happened, that first hit. But I got to respect the Animal Crossing map, though.
Yep, I love it. I love the music in the background. Very unfitting for what is happening on the stage, of course, these epic battles going on. Animal Crossing is nothing of the sort, but I think it adds to the experience a little bit.
I've never played Animal Crossing, and
Shame.
It looks fun. You know, I think the soundtrack is always great. The little animals are always really cute. But as I say that, going back into the match, it looks like Lunar Synergy at that 2-stock still, but Space Food really holding their own, you know, causing a lot of issues. And Lunar Synergy trying to get that cross-map shot, but it wasn't enough.
Wow.
Unfortunately, though, is able to get that not cross-map shot, that mid-map shot, and getting the final hit and execution. I was about to have to do sign language. Or not, I would do say sign language. I don't know sign language. Charades, in a sense. But we're back with audio. Apologies for that. As I was saying, you know, 3-0 series, Lunar Synergy taking out Space Food, but Space Food kind of holding his own for a majority of that. I think, you know, those plays when you're off the map, you got to be careful with. You can't let that happen. That was happening time and time again. Yeah,
and I think Lunar Synergy was just getting those big, powerful hits off that were either taking a lot of damage or knocking him off. That was just, it was a good match though.
Yeah. I think that is the third and final match. So that is all we had for tonight. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, for tuning in. We will be back Tuesday night for some Rainbow Six Siege. I will be back once again, joined by my co-host Toner. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining me, buddy.
Yes, of course.
First time on the camera, and I honestly, I think it's going to be great, and I'm so excited I get to cast this next Friday as well. But next Tuesday, Rainbow Six Siege versus Wayne State College. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on all of our social medias at Carthage Esports for live game updates and some generalized fun. It's a pretty fun time, I'll say that. So we will thank you so much for tuning in once again, and we will see you later. Have a great weekend.